I refer to them now kind of as the dark days. From November of 2002 through about May of 2003, I went through some pretty dramatic life changes. I had my second child, and at that time we decided that I was going to quit my pretty successful career and stay home with the kids, a decision that we'd really been working toward, and so we were happy about that. My grandmother passed away a couple months later. Mark quit his job and went to work for Palm Valley full-time, so he's full-time in ministry, which meant just an adjustment to our family schedules. We moved houses, and to top it all off, I turned 30, which I didn't think was a big deal at the time. But sometime that next summer of 2003, my life kind of seemed to start falling apart. The changes were pretty small at first. Things like being overly emotional. I was usually pretty patient with the kids, but I just found myself really losing my patience, being short-tempered, and I would shut myself in the bathroom or my closet just to get away from the kids, to be able to release some of that emotion. I would just cry, let it all out, and then kind of, go back to my day. And I didn't think about it too much at first. I just chalked it up to all the stress. Didn't have the same energy that I used to doing the projects that I was usually liked, or the hobbies, scrapbooking. I didn't touch that for months and months. Just everyday life decisions suddenly really seemed overwhelming to me, and it was difficult for me to decide stuff. I just wanted somebody else to take care of it and to take care of everything. By the end of the day, when I had spent the day with an infant and a very active 3-year-old climbing on me all day, the last thing I wanted to do when Mark came home was to have any physical contact. And there were literally times where, either with him or with the kids, that my skin would crawl because I just didn't want to be that close to anybody. That October, my son turned 4, and every year we did a family birthday party and a friend birthday party, and I couldn't even get it together enough to give him a friend birthday party. And that's something to this day, 3 years later, that he still remembers, that he didn't get a friend birthday party that year. And that was a big deal for me, but I just couldn't handle it. By October of that year, I had become pretty withdrawn. Any sort of a social situation, going to church on the weekend, family gatherings with our family that was in town, I wanted to avoid them at all costs, but obviously I couldn't. And at the time, Mark and I were hosting a home team in our house, and there were many Thursday nights where I just wanted to tell everybody I was sick and stay in the bedroom. And there were a lot of nights where Stacy had to talk me down, kind of give me a little pep talk. And I would put on a smile, and I would go down, and we'd have our home team, and truly I would, for a couple of hours, forget. I wouldn't feel so alone. And I would forget what I was going to feel like when everybody left. But eventually they did. They went home, and the darkness would come back. And I thought, I felt kind of like a spoiled child, that I thought how ungrateful God must think I am. He's blessed me in so many ways, and yet here I am, lonely and not happy. And besides just the tangible reasons, as a believer, we have the assurance of eternal life. I felt like, I should have hope. I should have joy. I should have peace. I have all those things that the Bible has promised me. But again, no matter how much I knew it in my heart, it wasn't changing the way I feel. And one day, during one of those arguments with myself, I kind of had a revelation, I guess, and I realized that the person I had become was not me. It was like I was a completely different person. And I wanted the old me back.